Hi everyone, in this video we will be talking about the commonly made mistakes that every beginner makes when they are learning machine learning. So basically in this video I will be addressing some of the common mistakes that one should avoid if they are beginner to machine learning. So let us get started. So the first is trying to learn at once. So today if we see everywhere we are just hearing the same thing, machine learning, AI, this, that. So when you start learning, you are quite excited that you want to learn everything, you want to be an expert. And here comes the biggest mistake that so basically machine learning is not very small area. It has a starting point, but today it may or may not have an ending point. You need to understand this, that it, even if you start with mathematics, calculus, linear algebra, and then gradually go to Python or then start studying this and that, so it is a very wide area. So if you are like, I will first study maths, then tomorrow I will go for Python, or simultaneously, parallelly, I will start studying one chapter from maths and then I will also start learning Python basics simultaneously. So this is something that we need to avoid. Basically, it is a very big area. So these are very basic things that we include. So first one is Python. So basically the basic Python, uh, exactly very similar, say basic syntax, loops, then some what exactly are the basic functionality. This comes under Python. Then the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. Then this is something that you should know, because these are mostly used libraries that we use for machine learning. So this is something that we should know, like not at very beginning but gradually when you move forward or you start learning about things, gradually this thing should be added. So to start with or just to continue with machine learning, it is not having just mathematics. It don't just have probability or linear algebra, or let us say calculus. It don't have a just Python, this NumPy, Matplotlib, not just that, or not just given set of algorithms that you need to study and continue. So this is not like that, it's a very wide field. So the biggest mistake here to avoid is just try learning everything at once. It is not going to work out. So you should start learning in phases. It should be a complete breakdown. Then what will you learn? So it is always good to start with some basics like Python basics, then data handling. So basically, machine learning is all about data. You When you are trying to train your model, you will get a data different data sets having million of entries, having very huge data sets. So this becomes again very important thing. So like let us say we use pandas, we use numpy to represent a different form of data. So basically when you are learning the Python basics, after that you should start gradually looking for numpy, how do we describe data there, or let us say pandas. Matplotlib will help you with your graphs and everything. So when we have a very huge amount of data, we can't go through each and every entry and understand what exactly it is trying to say or something like this. So what we can do is we can plot the graphs. We can go for bar graphs, histograms, so multiple graphs, and we can analyze the data or visualize the data. So there comes the matplotlib. So gradually if we start from Python basics, you should then try to learn all these libraries. Then comes the basic of mathematics. So we have already discussed about this in our previous video, that what is the mathematics, how much it is required, how much from calculus. We have a detailed video on it. So this thing is already done. then here comes machine learning. So basically, don't just say that today for 1 hour I will be studying Python basics, then I will look for some mathematics or some calculus stuff, and then again I will learn one algorithm today. This is not a good approach. Gradually just work in phases. Let us say, give, so some of you may be already knowing how exactly Python works, so let us say just give limited time to that thing. If you are not good with maths, give, spend some more time with it, but directly don't start with this machine learning fundamentals. Like, let us say you start learning KNN algorithm. It is a simple algorithm, I agree, but that don't mean that you should start just with the algorithms first. The learning should be in phases. Then here comes the project. So basically, once you are confident with how you, like, you have studied multiple algorithms, you are good to start with, or you know most of the things. So most of the things I'm trying to say, that you know important algorithms that are heavily used, and you want to implement them, you know how they work, you have coded them. If you are quite confident about them, then you should come up with projects, because no matter how much you know, I know 10 algorithms, I know 15 algorithms, but till the time you don't study or you don't implement them, how will you understand how much did you understood out of it, what is the area that you need to focus on. So basically, project, I don't say that pick a very fancy project. You can start with very basic projects like home price prediction. So it is not a project that will help you to get a job or something like this, but for sure it can obviously improve your understanding, and it is a very good too. So there are very small basic projects that you can start with, and then further you can study the advanced topics. So by advanced topic, there are multiple models, like we have so basically, when you are done with the basic ML algorithms, then there are again a very huge area, that then comes the NLP stuff. So basically, you need to understand that the depth that you need to consider when you are studying. So I will always recommend that don't try to study everything. Give some amount of time, give 2 months, 3 months, or just have a target for yourself that in next 6 months I am going to learn all of this. So just have that. It's not going to happen that you start today and in next 1 week you are done with everything. This is not going to happen. You need to spend some good amount of time on everything. So this is the thing, that the goal is not to learn everything. You can't learn each and everything. Like, there will be always something that will be left. So your goal should never be that I need to learn everything, I need to touch each and every ML algorithm. But your goal should be that you should learn right things at right time. There are multiple ML algorithms, but I will never say that you should know each and every algorithm. It don't goes like this. But just know 10 or 15 algorithms, or let us say 8 algorithms, but you should know them perfectly. Like, no matter what the question is, you should be able to answer. So this should be the aim. So then the second mistake that every beginner makes, or most of the beginners make, is skipping the fundamentals. So like, you will just see that, everywhere people are speaking about machine learning, and everywhere the same thing is happening. So what you will do is directly start with KNN algorithm. It is good to start with. So basically, there are two approaches. Either like, after you are done with your mathematics, the simple stuff that is included, and when you have other things sorted out, at that time you can just start with. So basically, there are two things that you can do. That is, let us say you start with KNN algorithm, and then there you learn what exactly is a feature, what is target. These are very basic terms. You need not to spend half an hour or 1 hour to understand this. But these are very simple, that what is a training set, what is testing set, what is basically model, what is overfitting, underfitting, evaluation matrix. This is a very basic. What is difference in between classification and regression? These are not the areas where you need to spend hours to study ki what is difference in between classification and regression. It eventually comes as you start. So basically, either what you can do is you can start with all these topics first, that understand what exactly is this and that. So like there might be people who don't know what exactly is evaluation matrix and they are studying different algorithms. Till the time you don't know what exactly is evaluation matrix, what kind of machine learning are you studying? So basically, you should understand what exactly all these terms are. I don't say that go and spend hours on studying what exactly these concepts are, but gradually when you are going forward, these are basically, you should know this. It's you don't have an option for those things. So you should know basically what are the basic terminologies that are used, what is overfitting, underfitting. This is something you won't get a very separate video. I have made separate videos on overfitting, underfitting, bias, variance. But eventually when you are learning algorithms, either you should introduce these topics like what exactly is overfitting, what is underfitting. But this very small things like what is a feature, target, it should automatically come over the time you, like as you start spending time with the algorithms, you should know these things. Then the third thing is focusing on theory. So let us say we are studying KNN algorithm, we are studying SVM. So you know theoretically that in KNN algorithm there will be a value of K. In SVM there we will be talking about margin and everything. So knowing everything theoretically, but you did not implement it. So this is where I think you should spend some time with. Start theoretically. Let us say we are studying KNN algorithm. You understood how exactly it works, what kind of problem does it solve, like it is a classification, or let us say it is regression, so how it exactly works. And then you know the assumptions, you know it theoretically, what are its advantages, what are its disadvantages. But it is always best that you start, you know theoretically the algorithm well, then you pick a data set, and you a small data set. I don't say that just try building some fancy project and that will help. No, just start with small data sets. Don't consider it as a project or something. Just pick up a data set, just go through what exactly is are the features, like try to implement different functions on that a data set, understand the data set, what the data set is about, how many features are included. So just try to explore that data and then split it into like train test split, there is something. So gradually when you will learn the pandas and numpy, you will gradually know how are you going to split the data set into training and testing. Then try small experiments and try to implement these algorithms and try to understand it. So it is a very common thing that you theoretically know everything and you have not coded it enough. And then, so basically this is a rule that it is like you watch every algorithm, then you move to the next algorithm. So this is not a very good thing to practice. What is good is you first learn the theoretical algorithm, then try to implement it. Make mistakes, obviously. If you are learning everything, then you will obviously make mistakes. Then debug again, and then understand, and you can do the same for every algorithm. Then the fourth important mistake is we are trying to learn algorithm without understanding why. Why do we need KNN algorithm? If we are going for knife based algorithm, the question should, so there are multiple classification algorithms. So basically you should know that if this already existed, why do we need that? So KNN also does classification. Even SVM does. But if we had KNN, why do we need SVM? So that SVM is quite faster. It's computation, so there are some computational ups and downs every algorithm has. So every algorithm has its advantages, every algorithm has its disadvantages. So you should understand, you should always ask these three questions when you are trying to learn any algorithm. So like, what kind of problem is it solving, whether it is a classification problem, whether it is a regression problem, but more specifically, like when we have very huge data set, or the feature in that data set are it n number of features are there, so we prefer decision tree. So why exactly, what problem does it solve? When, because we are splitting based upon the features that are giving us the best results. So that is why we are reducing, we are ignoring the features which are not very important. So this is why we choose decision tree over KNN. Or so basically, how, what kind of problem does this algorithm solve, why does it work like this, and when should you use it? So these are some of the problems or some of the questions that you should always, like, you should understand why the algorithm is there, how it is implemented. That is something we are only focusing on, how the algorithm works, but along with it, why this algorithm is there, what kind of problem does it solve, and when should you use it. This is something that you should try to understand when you are studying any algorithm. Then comes not working on project. Again, as I said, so let us say, as I spoke about this earlier as well, we are theoretically understanding everything. We are, even if we are coding, we are not actually implementing it. Simply coding an algorithm and implementing it as a project are two very different things. So it involves every other thing. So as I said, just start with some basic project or just pick up house price prediction. It won't help you in enhancing your resume or something, but it will obviously help you in understanding how exactly the algorithm works. So let us say that we take a house price prediction, then basically load the data set, cleaning missing values, so the data set won't be like uniform. It won't be like it has every single thing, it won't have any duplicates, it is already clean. This is never going to happen. It, you need to clean, you need to spend a lot of time in understanding the data set. When it comes to the missing values, when it comes to duplicates, there are different ways in which we handle all these things. So understand those. Then as I said, when we have use data sets, there we heavily use visualization, because to understand the data, so try to implement everything. Data cleaning is a very important thing that one should learn. Without it, you can't make your models work well. That is a very important step. Then you should try to visualize the data, and then you should split the data into training and testing. Then you should train it, and then try to improve your model in a way or not. Right now your focus should not be improving the model. Right now it should be only understanding how it works and just implementing it. So just start with some basic projects. When you are done with theory, just let us say you are done with 4 or 5 algorithms, then try to find out that which basic project can you implement by knowing all these basic algorithms, and try to implement them. Then is ignoring data preprocessing and model evaluation. As I said, working and handling the data are very important concepts. You should be able to handle data, because so basically it's not, so most beginners think that you simply need to load the data set, train the model and get its accuracy. It's not like that. The data set that you are trying to work with, it may have missing values, duplicate values, outliers, and every, like, it is not like very clean data set or something. You need to spend a lot of time on cleaning the data. So basically that comes under data pre-processing, understanding the data. So that is again very important thing, and most of the people, they directly try to split them the data set into testing and train. No, before it, we need to clean the data, we need to perform data pre-processing. This is something that I feel people forget. And the seventh mistake is continuously switching learning resources. Just try to identify what works best for me. Let us say if we are studying mathematics, just try to find out that what exactly. So there are different books. One topic you can get it in 10 different books, but try to understand what exactly you want. Do you want vary it in vary from basics to advanced, or you know basics well, you just need to study advanced topics? Then which book is best, and just try to stick with the book. Let us say if you are picking one class 11th or class 12th book, just stay with it till the time. It is always good to read one book twice rather than reading two books one time. So just have limited resources. Let us say today you can get any multiple videos on, let us say, linear regression. Just find which language are you understanding, or how you prefer studying, whether you go through the books yourself and then come up with the algorithms, or you come up with the understanding of the things, or how exactly, or you need to watch the video lectures, or how exactly you want to study. Just identify that and stick to it. It should not like you are learning linear regression from 10 different sources. It should not happen. It is not a very good idea. Rather, just have two resources. One is primary resource and one or two supplementary resource, and then try to understand it, or just try to stick on it. If you understood that for learning maths this book is enough for me, or I understand this, just prefer it, just understand and learn from that book. Don't just for one topic don't try different multiple resources. It's not like that. Just have limited resources and just make best out of those limited resources. It should not like be like you're taking 10 different books for just one algorithm. No. If you are a kind of person who wants to read and then understand on your own, just pick one book and then have some supplementary resources for, let us say, practicing or doing, coding or something. But always have limited resources. Don't have 5 or 10 books for studying, or you are also studying from, it's okay that you are first going through the videos, then you are trying to find out the information through internet on your own. But you should have a very systematic, so this is the thing that I am going to study from here, I am going to study. Have limited number of resources and just make best out of it. This is what I would like to say. So these are some of the basic mistakes that I feel that beginners do. So that's all for this video. If you have any query, feel free to ask me in the comment section. So that's all for this video. See you in next video.